Hi everyone, and welcome to the Honeybee Knits podcast channel. My name is Melissa and I'm coming to you from Springboro, Ohio, where I live with my husband, our dog, and our 2 cats. Today is Monday, January 18th, and it is a snowy, cloudy day outside. The perfect day to stay in and knit. I'm off work today because it's Martin Luther King observance day, and I'm basically just taking it really slow. Decided to go ahead and do a podcast this week, not only because I want to try to get into some sort of podcasting schedule where I'm putting up at least 1, if not 2 or 3 videos a month, and I haven't put any up since Vlogmas. So today's video, I have a ton of items to show you, things that I have knit by hand, things that I have made on my hat knitting machine, a ton of acquisitions and planned projects. I also have Vlogmas giveaway announcements. I have pulled the winners from that video. So for those of you that don't watch Vlogmas, or you're not into the smaller videos, you like the longer podcast, I did show quite a bit of knitting content during Vlogmas, some of which, if you did watch Vlogmas, you'll see today. Some of it will be new to you, but I'm gonna start out. I think I have 17 finished objects plus about 15 hats that I knit on my knitting machine. So I have quite a bit of stuff to show today. So I'm gonna jump right in. So I'm gonna start by doing the giveaway winners. So if your name is called, please contact me on Ravelry. My Ravelry ID is Melissa1308. If you don't have Ravelry, you can also contact me on Instagram. My Instagram username is honey_bee_knits. And if you don't have any of that, you can also email me at honeybeeyarn@gmail.com. I don't like putting my email address on the podcast just because I prefer not to get emails through that account. But I realized that with the issues that people have had with Ravelry last year and the inaccessibility to Instagram for some people, that that may be your only way of contacting me. So if one of those 3 options doesn't work for you, comment below and we will figure it out. But the first winner is going to win a skein of yarn from the Cozy Knitter in the Ho Ho Holiday colorway, and it is on her sparkle base, and I will throw in some other little goodies. I think I have like a small project bag and some little notions that I'll add to this. So the winner of this is the Knitted Lamb. So please contact me and I will with your address, and I will send that out. The second winner won this self-striping skein from Fab Funky Fibers in the 15 color rainbow. And the winner of this is Dottie Robbins. The third winner won this skein of hand spun from I Spun It, but it was dyed by Leadingman Fiber Arts in the upside down colorway. It is a sport weight. It's 163 grams, 489 yards, 300 yards per 100 grams. And the winner of this is Denise Hawkins. And the final winner won a skein of Superfine Yarn Co. on the Euclid Sparkle Sock base, 438 yards per 100 grams. And the winner of this is Tina Helen, or maybe it's Helen, Hellon. So that is yours. So if you 4 could contact me, preferably on Ravelry, then I will get those prizes out to you in the mail. See, I'm on my floor today because I didn't feel like pulling out my chair and doing like the whole official setup today. So I just plopped down on the floor, spread everything around me in a circle, and everything's within reach. So I will start showing you everything. So I can't remember if I finished this before Vlogmas or after Vlogmas, so I'm just gonna show it. This is my Slipstravaganza. by Stephen West. And it is absolutely massive. But I completely love it. I can't remember I think this was Urban Yarns. I can't remember what the yarn is. It was a kit from Stephen and Penelope. And I love it. I'm pretty sure if not finished, I at least showed it in progress on the podcast previously, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it. The yarn is a little bit toothy, but once I blocked it, it blocked out perfectly. And this might be my favorite section right here. I love this so much. The second, I'll show this in a second, but I wanted to put this on because it's so squishy. So I think the first real finished object that I have from Vlogmas is my jigsaw puzzle shawl. I did finish 4 pairs of socks during Vlogmas, but I showed them all on the vlog and I've already worn them and they're already in a pile to be washed. So I'm not going to show those today. But I finished my jigsaw puzzle shawl and I have made the decision not to add tassels to this. Just because I'm not really a tassel girl at the moment. I might in the future add some, but for now, I think this is one of my favorite patterns from him that I have ever knit. I used Fingering Weight Held Double. This is from my Superfine Yarn Co. Advent Calendar. It's so soft and squishy and scrappy, and I love the way it turned out. So it's a Stephen West shawl, so of course it's huge, and this might as well be called the Stephen West FO Parade because I have 4 finished projects from him. Using 4 of my finished objects are his shawls today. So this is finished object number 2. And I just really love how this turned out. It was so much fun to knit. It's pretty much all I wanted to work on. And it was very meditative, but it was different enough to keep my interest. And I really love how it turned out. So I would highly recommend that shawl. It's great to use your Advent leftovers. I will say that the sections take more than, I had 20 gram minis, so I held them double for DK weight. So it was about 10 grams per section is what I had. And most of the sections took more than 10 grams. So I would just use like the next day, because I think there's only like 22 sections in it. So if you're using like 24 minis, I had to use 24 minis and a full skein, and I had not that much left over. So it does take up quite a bit of yarn, especially if you're not using DK weight yarn and you're holding Fingering Weight Double. It takes up quite a bit of yarn. And I did have to, let me show you an example. So this section here, I used, I think, 2 different colors, because I think this was one section and this is a section. This is one section right here, but I used 2 different colors. This I striped 2 different colors. So I just kind of made it work, and it's lovely. I love how it turned out. And I'm really happy with it. And if you have not knit it, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And even if you have knit it, I recommend it, because I would definitely knit that one again. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you my most recent 2 finished objects, and then I'll jump back in time here. But I started and finished the Winter Lights shawl by Stephen West. This is part of his Hyber knit along, and you guys did not even see this as a whip. I think it took me like 5 or 6 days to knit. I was off work and had a lot of knitting time, and I just was absolutely really enjoying working on this. So the yarn that I used is Sweet Georgia, and she has things called, she has these Party of 5 mini packs, and it comes with 5 colors and like a gradient. So I ordered 4 of the same mini pack, and I magic knotted them together in order to make this shawl because these were really the colors that I wanted to use. So I made it work, and I absolutely love them. The colors that I used are Candy Floss, Guava, Azalea, and Lip Gloss. And I am just over the moon happy with how this shawl turned out. And I'm definitely keeping this one. This one is probably one of my favorite shawls that I've ever knit. Not finish object wise, not like process wise. The process was fun in knitting it, but it's one of the few that I really, really love the finished object. So I still have, because it comes with 5 colors and I only used 4 for the shawl. And I will say I played Yarn Chicken. I had like this much of the main color of Candy Floss left. So I have 4 minis left in the Orchid colorway. And I'm actually going to be knitting a baby sweater out of this, which I'll talk more about in my planned knits section. So on to the next one. This one is the Woven Chevrons shawl, and this one's a little hard to show. I think I'm showing it upside down. There we go. And it is huge. So this is the Woven Chevron shawl, and I again used Sweet Georgia Yarns in one of her party packs, which comes with 5 full skeins. And I do not know the names of the individual colorways, but I know that the colorway pack that I used is called Royalty. And this shawl was not that fun to knit, to be honest. It's very repetitive, and for some reason I couldn't find my groove where like I didn't have to count. So I had to constantly count stitches, which just isn't fun for me. I couldn't really do anything but listen to audiobooks while I was knitting this. It did only take me, I think, 6 or 7 days of knitting to finish, but that's because I had a lot of knitting time. That's pretty much all I've been doing recently is knitting, but I really wanted to get this one done because it is a birthday gift for my mom, whose birthday is in 2 days. So I wanted to get it off the needles, blocked, and then show it on the podcast before I gifted that to her. And I have the Sapphire colorway. Again, it came in a pack of 5 full skeins. And actually, it's kind of funny because it's kind of paying it forward. My friend Kim sent me some money for my birthday, and I bought this party pack with it to make this shawl, which I'm then gifting to my mom. So it's just kind of a way to pay it forward, I guess. These are really her colors. She's definitely a blue and purple person. And when I saw how this was knitting up, I knew when I saw the color pack when it came and I saw the shawl that I was going to make with it, I knew that this shawl had to be for her because I think it's right up her alley. And I do have a skein left over that I'm also going to be knitting a baby sweater out of, which again, I'll talk about in my planned projects. But honestly, I really, really, really love this shawl. It is hard to photograph. I have a hard time getting good pictures of this shawl where it actually shows the 4 different colors that I used. And it wasn't easy to block, but I mean, guys, I had a lot of fun knitting this. And I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. And I think that she is going to love it. I really do. My mom likes big shawls and she cannot lie. So, she will be extremely happy with this. But for now, I kind of want to keep it, but I just know that these are more her colors. So for now, I am going to wear it for the rest of the podcast because I really like it. So the next finished object that I have is this cowl. It is called, is this the Knitting at the Library cowl, I think? By Curious Handmade, I believe. I think you guys saw me knitting this on my Vlogmas. I need to block it, because the first time I blocked it, I really pinned it out so I could open up that lace. And so I have these like little like curvy edges, but I need to reblock it and just lay it flat without any pinning now that the lace is opened up, so that I can get rid of that seam. But it's okay for now. Anyway, I knit this cowl using, I had purchased a 13-day calendar. It was just like a 13-day one-of-a-kind mini set from Artemis Yarn Co. And they are one-of-a-kind, non-repeatable colorways. She had just, you know, she's getting ready to go on maternity leave, and she just did something fun, and she wrapped these all individually. I think she only released like 8 of them, 8 to 12 of them. And I splurged and purchased one for myself, and I'm so glad that I did, because I absolutely love the colors. I repeated each colorway twice. So I started here and I worked my way to the middle, and then I did like a double section of that colorway and then worked my way to the end in the same order. So it's same colorways going each way, and it is beautiful. I love it so much. It was a lot of fun to knit. It was the only thing that I could knit for like 3 days. I was obsessed with it. The Stephen West had released his hybrid knit along pattern the day after Christmas, which I was all ready to cast on, but I just didn't want to at first because this is all I wanted to work on. So I knit that cowl. And then my brother and his wife, sorry, I was getting a little warm wearing this. My brother and his wife announced the day after Christmas that they are having a little girl in July. So I immediately knew I had to start some baby knits. And this is their first child, and they have wanted this for so long, so I'm super excited for them. And I decided that I'm going to do like a year worth of baby knits for them. So I'm going to knit 3 different sizes of stuff. I'm going to do the newborn to 3 months, the 3 to 6 months, and the 6 to 12 month sizes. And I'm going to knit 6 pairs of socks for each size, 3 hats for each size, and 1 sweater for each size. And then I'm also going to knit them one of my favorite chevron baby blankets, which is, I think it's like a blue sky alpaca pattern, or they use blue sky cotton for it. I've knit quite a few of them in the past, so I'm excited to finally knit one to keep in the family. So, I have been using all of my scrappy leftovers to knit stuff for their baby. So the first finished object that I have is baby socks, and I use the leftovers from the Artemis Advent calendar, because I figure I know that if I were a new mom, I wouldn't want to sit there and match up a bunch of baby socks. So I think all these can just, like, you can mix and match them with each other. But I have 7 pairs total that I knit up. And I use the Knitting Expats baby sock pattern. And these are all in the newborn size. So we got those ones. And then, so I was able to get 6 pairs of baby socks out of the leftovers that I had from my Artemis Advents. So I have all those there that they can mix and match. And then I used the leftovers from my hybrid knit along, the Sweet Georgia leftovers, to knit. I needed 1 more pair of newborn size. So I knit that. And then I knit the newborn hat. So I have all 7 pairs of the newborn size socks done. And then I have this newborn hat where I striped a bunch of colors. And again, this is the Knitting Expat baby to toddler size hat pattern. And I chose not to do the short rows in the back. I just wanted some basic beanies. She is being born in July, so knowing Ohio weather, she may not even get to use these because I don't think it'll be cold enough. And these are fingering weight held double. And that's what I did. I actually marled 2 of the colors from each shawl together to get those 2. And then this one, I forgot to do the increases right after the brim. And so I did make this one a little bit taller than the other ones to make up for the extra stretch it's going to have when they put it on her head, because there's not as many stitches. So when you stretch it out, it'll shrink the hat down. So I just added a few, like an extra inch or so onto this one. Because when I realized I was already to like here and I didn't want to rip out the entire brim. This one is just 3 different colors held double and into a little stripy hat. So the newborn hats are done. And so that means I just have to do the newborn sweater, which I think I'm going to make one of the, I think I'm going to pick a Knitting Expat one, just since I did the socks and the hats, I might as well do the sweater too. So I'm going to make the newborn sweater out of this. And I also had some leftovers after I was done with the hat. I still had some leftovers. So I have 2 more finished objects and a hoe. So I have this pair, and this is in the 3 to 6 month size. And you see the toes different, but again, these are just mix and match socks. So they can just pick them up and go. There's another in the 3 to 6 month size. And then I have one more in the 3 to 6 month size, but I ran out of yarn. I know I'm going to have leftovers from, I'm going to use this for the 3 to 6 month size sweater, this for the newborn sweater, and I know I'll have some leftovers. So I will make some, whatever leftovers I have, I'll make some more of the 3 to 6 month size. And again, I have 2.5 pairs done, and I plan to have 7 of each size. And then I need to make the 3 to 6 month size hats, the 3 to 6 month size sweater, the 6 to 12 month socks, hats, and sweaters. So by the time I'm done, they should have quite the collection of hand knits to last them all the way to her first birthday. And then we'll go from there. If they use them and they like them, then I might make her more when she's older. But if they don't use them and they don't like them, then they can either give them back or give them to somebody else who will. It won't bother me. But I just really wanted to do that for them. So I think that's it. So that's why I had so many finished objects, because a lot of those were baby knits. I do plan to wash and block all these socks because I got some baby sock blockers. I will show you those towards the end. And that's it for finished objects that I've hand knitted. I did put up a tutorial during Vlogmas on how to use my king size hat knitting machine, and I made 7 hats during that tutorial. So I've got them here, 7 charity hats to donate. And my goal, I bought a bunch of yarn. I bought a bunch of yarn for charity hats to make charity hats out of this year. And so my goal is to make 5 charity hats a week. And I'm trying to do them in batches. So like twice a month, I will do a batch of 10. So it equals out to 20 hats a month. So I had some leftover yarn from Color Crafter. I had some leftover Color Crafter yarn after I finished, from where I finished my glamping blanket. Did I show my glamping blanket to you guys? I don't really know if I did. I'm pretty sure I did. I know I showed it on Vlogmas. So I had some leftovers, so I just held it double and put it on my hat machine. If you want to know how I make these hats on my hat machine, check out my tutorial that I made. I give all the details on what yarn I use, how many rows I do, how to set it up, and how to crank it on the knitting machine. So I have that one that I finished. I have this one where I held a pink with an orange. So on the inside, it turned, depending on how you hold the yarn, you will have a dominant color and a non-dominant color. So on the inside, it was bright pink. And then on the outside, it got like this stripy effect, which was super cool. So I really like how this turned out because you can wear it like this, or you can turn it inside out and wear it like this. And I really like how when you stretch it, you can kind of see the orange hue in the background. So I really, really like how that worked up. I think I am going to start making these a little bit longer, just because I think if I were somebody in need that needed a warm hat, I would probably want to fold the brim over. And when I fold the brim over on this one, it's more of like a skull cap, and I don't think it would necessarily cover the ears very well. Yeah, see, I've got quite a big head, but still, it doesn't really cover the ears unless I pull it down. So I think I'm going to start making them maybe 130 rows so that they have the option to either wear it super slouchy or to fold it up into a brim. Because right now I think I do between 110 and 120 depending on the yarn. So then again, I held the green and pink together for this one, and it turned out super cool. I really like how that turned out. And then I held, this is another green and pink one. I like this one a lot. It's super neat. So there's that one. And I think in the future, I think I'm going to stick, I did green, pink and purple for this one. I think I'm going to stick with the Sheep G's, the Color Crafter, because a regular price from Around the Table Yarns, it's $4 a ball. And they do have sales once in a while on that. So I think this is the softest acrylic I have ever felt. And honestly, I really love how these came out holding them double. So I have quite the stash to get through right now because I ordered a bunch of yarn from Hobby Lobby and from somewhere else. Not Knit Picks. Where did I order that from? Hobby Lobby and somewhere else. I can't remember. Knit Crafter? Something Crafters. Knit Crafters, Yarn Crafter, I think. Paint box yarns. So I ordered a bunch of that I had to work through. So I don't think that I'm going to have to buy more yarn for at least another 3 months or so. But when I do, I think I'm going to go with the Sheep Cheese because I could get 2 hats out of a ball of yarn. And I just really love playing with the different colors, and they have so many different color options. So I purchased some paint box yarns as well, and I made these ones. So the first ones I made, it's supposed to be a DK weight yarn. They're both DK weight yarn. But when I use this on its own, it's very thin. Like I can see through it, which would be nice for spring and fall. It's not as hot as a winter hat. So I could see making more of these in the future. But again, they were just really thin, and I really think that I want to make some thicker hats for now. So I held them double and made these ones. So it's all red on the inside and then red and gray on the outside. I really liked the texture and warmth of holding it double. So I think in the future, that's probably what I'll do for a while. But I was just trying different techniques. So those are my charity hats that I have done so far this year. And actually today, either while I'm editing the podcast or while I'm listening to an audiobook, I'm going to crank out the last 10 that I need to do for this month. So that is all the finished objects. I have one whip because I have been very monogamous. So when I start something, I've been finishing it. And yesterday, I had just finished the baby knits this weekend. So yesterday I had a little bit more knitting time in the evening while I was watching football. The Saints lost. Boo. But while I was watching football, I had a little bit more knitting time. So I put in 6 more squares on my Leading Men Fiber Arts blanket. Those top 6 right there. So this is my current WIP. That leads me to knitting plans. So I feel like I've been really killing it with knitting lately. I mean, most of the stuff that I showed today, I finished between December and now. So all of this stuff that I'm showing you is like a month and a half. Yeah, about a month and a half of knitting, which I feel like I finished a lot in 6 weeks. So I have plans I have about 20 colorways to add to this blanket. So that will get me 2 rows. So I'm going to put in 2 rows on this blanket. I talked about how I've been making my Leading Men Fiber Arts blanket. I use the minis from their Cast of Characters Club, and they send you 5 new minis each month. And I use about 10 grams. I do 2 squares on the blanket, which is about 10 grams. So I always have about 10 grams left over to add to my Happy Scrappy blanket that I'm working on. So I plan to take all 20 colorways and put them into the blanket and then put them into my Happy Scrappy blanket. And when I'm finished with that, my next goal is to knit up those 2 baby sweaters and whatever socks I can get out of the leftovers. After that, I will work on my whip jar project, which is the Edith Secret shawl. So I will hopefully get that off the needles. And then my next focus is going to be on my Happenings wrap. So those are basically what I foresee myself knitting over the next, it'll probably take me, I would say that's about 3 weeks worth of knitting. And then after that, I plan to cast on the Bubbles Cow by Stephen West. On a Stephen West kick lately. Jason bought me 2 packs of these Color Riot minis from P Loco for my birthday, and this is her Sexy Christmas set. And so it is a DK weight pattern, so I didn't know how much yarn I would need, so I bought 2 packs. I told him I needed 2 packs. I mean, let's be honest, he paid for them, I purchased them. He's like basically just handed me his credit card so I could buy them. I was like, hey, I want this, and he gave me his credit card so I could get them for my birthday. He also got me this bag for my birthday too. This Joji Locatelli Joji & Co. tote bag that I absolutely love. It's so pretty. Now I just need to go on a trip so that I can actually use it out in public one of these days. But so I plan to hold these double and make the Bubbles Cow by Stephen West. I have some more acquisitions to show. And hopefully these will be done in the next 3 weeks as well, because they're very small knits and they shouldn't take much time. So Around the Table Yarns had quite a few like holiday specials going on, and one of their one week they had 20% off of all of their kits, and they had these little kits. So they give you these color changing cups. So they're like coffee cups. You can put hot or cold in here, and then you got to pick your color cup and your yarn. And these change color when you fill them up with hot either tea or coffee. And you got to pick I think I picked pink for this one, pink, blue, and purple. And they give you a little pattern to knit up a little cozy to go around the cup so you don't burn your hands on the cup. So I thought that these would be great for gifts next year. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and get them knit up so I can set them aside for gifts, put them out of the way. They shouldn't take too long. And that was out of Malabrigo Rasta. So I got those 3 colors of yarn. I got the purple and blue cup. I got the green and yellow cup, which I think I will do orange for. And then I got I think this is like a robin's egg blue and purple cup. And then it also came with, so they give you the pattern, and this is what it looks. I'm trying not to show you the pattern. That's what it'll look like when it's done. And they give you get to pick out a tag to sew onto the cup cozy. So this one says shh coffee, and it comes with the little grommets to attach them. And this says coffee queen, and this one says be kind. So those are the 3 that I picked out. So I have my little pattern here. It looks super easy. So I'm hoping to have those done in the next 3 weeks or so, 3 to 4 weeks. And I will set those on my gift giving shelf. I'm actually going to squish the yarn down into a cup so that it's all together. Okay, so I have those. And then they also had these kits from Tina's Twisted Fibers, and they're the Tiny Tots Baby Socks and Keepsake. So what this is they send you a pattern, but they also, you get to choose, I bought 2 of them. You get to choose the mini skeins that you want. And they also send you 2 mini skeins, the pattern, and these 3D printed baby sock blockers. And not only that, but I just had it and dropped it. Oh, there it is. They send you these little ornament hangers so that when your baby outgrows their socks, you can, this is just such a good idea. And these are the, not the newborn size, so they're a little big for it. Let me get the newborn size. So when your baby outgrows their newborn socks, you can put their sock on the sock blocker and then turn them into Christmas ornaments to hang on your tree. They give you 2 of these little star hangers. How cool is that? So just such a very, very, very thoughtful gift. So I'm gonna give these to my brother when I'm done using them. Hopefully his wife will, because I know he probably won't remember. And then whenever their baby grows out of their socks, they can pick their favorite pair. And it doesn't even have to be the hand-knitted socks that I made them. They can use whatever baby socks give them good memories, and then put them on their tree as little keepsake ornaments. So super cool, thoughtful, fun idea. So I got 2. So I'm hoping to turn these minis into some baby socks by next time you see me. And I think that's it. As far as knitting plans, I do have some more acquisitions though, because it's me. So the same shop, Around the Table Yarns, had a 20% off DK and worsted weight yarn. And I got some Malabrigo in my favorite colorway, fuchsia. This is the Malabrigo Arroyo, which is their 335 yards per 100 grams. It's supposedly their DK weight yarn. It's a bit thin. I think I could use this. I probably would get gauge for a fingering weight sweater for this. So I bought way more than I think I will ever need. But it was on sale. I think I bought like 7 skeins. Yeah, I bought 7 skeins of it. I was going to make, and I honestly don't even remember the name of it. It's a Joji cardigan. It reminds me a little bit of the campside cardi. But now that I'm thinking about this, I think this would be a really beautiful campside cardi. And I know that that pattern has like a DK weight version and a fingering weight version, and I think I can easily convert it. So, and they updated the pattern to include my size. That's one of the reasons I've never made one, was because at the time they didn't have my size. But I think I might, I've been wanting to make a campsite cardi for a really long time. So that might be what this becomes eventually, long time from now. I did talk a little bit, I think either on Vlogmas or Instagram, about how I'm not going to be doing sweater knitting for a few months, just because I'm in the process of losing weight and I don't want to spend all that time knitting a sweater that's going to not fit me properly. So I'm going to kind of wait until I see how my weight loss journey goes and how my body stabilizes. And I have plenty of other stuff to keep me busy for now. Eventually I will get back to sweater knitting, but I'm just taking a little break. Let's see. And then I went kind of crazy with Woolly Mama Yarns. So what happened was, Woolly Mama Yarns, I've been following her on Instagram for a few weeks now, and she has the prettiest yarns. But I forgot that she was in the UK, and her shipping is, while it's reasonable considering it's coming from the UK and all the post office issues we've had now, it is a bit more than I wanted to spend on shipping lately. And I forgot, and she put out an update with her. I mean, guys, these are beautiful. So she put out these 70 gram update where it's like a 50 gram skein and a 20 gram mini, which are perfect for a pair of shorty socks plus leftovers for me. And so I bought a few, and the first one I bought is called Popping Candy. Beautiful. This one is called Mentalicious. Oh my god, it's so pretty. And then this one is called Mutant Mermaid. It's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Like stunning. So then I bought them, didn't even blink an eye. I normally don't look at the total when I buy things, but I expected it to be like $50 or $60, and then I got the invoice and it was like $75. I was like, what did I buy? I just bought 3 half skeins of yarn. And then I realized that it was like $25 for shipping because it was coming from the UK. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, I don't want to spend that much on shipping just to get 3 half skeins of yarn. Can I add some to my order? She was like, absolutely. So I bought some more. Because that's the obvious solution, right? You don't cancel your order. You just add more yarn to make it worth the shipping. So I bought some of her DK, which I don't buy a lot of DK yarns, and I always regret it because I always buy everything in fingering weight and then I never have DK when I need it. So I bought San Junipero, which I'm pretty sure this is the same city that was on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, the new one. I remember hearing about it. But anyway, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And then I purchased Pop Art, which again, look at those speckles. Guys, she is like a speckle queen. And then I got Peach Mimosas. Just looking at these, I'm like, how in the world? And then Electric Rose. I can't even. Oh my gosh, these are some of the prettiest dye jobs I've ever seen. Like, I've seen a lot of pretty yarn, but this is like art. Like the way the depth she has. I mean, just look at all the different layers in that. There's probably 3 or 4 different layers of yarn in this, of dye in this. It's so pretty. She has like 2 layers of the solid colors and then like at least 2 layers of the speckles, if not 3. Gorgeous. And then I bought 2 more skeins of fingering weight. I bought Wild Child, which if she would have had this in a 70 gram sock set, I would have gotten it in that. But I'm happy with the full skein too. And then this one is called Calypso. Guys, it's so pretty. So highly recommend her yarn. Well worth the shipping. I would just say make sure you put enough in your cart to make the shipping worth it. And these are going to be lovely added to my collection of yarn. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I think I did pretty good. The only impulse buy was from Woolly Mama Yarns. Everything else was either planned or completely worth it. I mean, honestly, I couldn't get yarn. I couldn't get sweater yarn for that cheap. This is normally $20 a skein, and they had it 20% off when I bought it, so I had to get a sweater quantity. These were ridiculously worth it. I want to say they were $10 to $15 kits. And I got those on 20% off, and the same with these, 20% off. So you can't beat that. If you haven't checked out Around the Table Yarns, make sure you do so. So just a little bit of a life update. Vlogmas was fun, but it pretty much exhausted me. So I've spent like the last 2.5-3 weeks recovering and knitting all the things. I've been listening to so many audiobooks. I just finished my 10th book of the year already. I really enjoyed listening to audiobooks. If you like listening to audiobooks, reading books, you can follow me on Goodreads. I'm Melissa1308 on Goodreads. I've been catching up with podcasts. I've caught up with Knit for Brains. I've caught up with the Knick Knack Knits podcast. I've caught up with Marsha from Fairy Little. What else? I've started to get caught up on Knitting Expat. I'm like a year behind on her vlogs. So, and she does vlogs pretty regularly, so I have a lot of her videos. So I kind of watch those in spurts. I've been watching a little bit of that. I have watched, I watched Bridgerton in like a day. I watched Tiny Little Things. Jason and I started watching Supernatural. We're on the 2nd season. I had never seen it. I've heard a lot of people say good things about it, so we started watching that together because his friends recommended it to him as well. And it's pretty good. I have to say it's pretty predictable, but I've heard that it gets better after the 4th season, so we're trying to stick it out. And there's like 15 seasons of that, so we'll probably be watching that for quite a while. I want to watch, I've been watching Schitt's Creek a little bit. I'm on like the 3rd season, I think. I think I'm halfway through the 3rd season. And what else? I want to watch the new documentary that just came out on Netflix about the Night Stalker. I don't know. Pretty much what I've been doing. Oh, I've been an insomniac lately. I haven't been able to get to sleep really well, and it's been really hard for me to wake up in the mornings. And so I found a podcast called Sleep With Me podcast. And at first I was like, what in the heck am I listening to? It's this guy, and he's just rambling, and he's a monotone, and he's supposed to tell you a bedtime story, but I'll be honest, I've never stayed awake long enough to get to the story. Honestly, by the time he's done with his intro, I'm already asleep, which is great because that's the whole point. He tries to get you to go to sleep, and honestly, it's not that he's trying to lull you to sleep. He's trying to distract you from your own thoughts, because I have circular thought syndrome, where like I go to bed at night and I start thinking about war. I start thinking about everything, like everything bad. I start thinking about family members dying and myself dying, and the problems all over the world with wars and hunger and racism and politics, and I just get into like this circular thought syndrome where like I just have so much. Sometimes it's finances, which we're fine financially, so there's like nothing to worry about there, and sometimes it's my job. I just start thinking about a bunch of stuff and I can't get to sleep. And so he does a good job of like distracting you from all those circular thoughts, and I ended up falling asleep almost immediately. I will say, like, normally, like, if I go to sleep listening to an audiobook or music, I'll wake up like a half hour later and take my earbuds out, and then I'll be wide awake again because I woke up to take my earbuds out. But with him, the first night I fell asleep and I woke up at like 4 a.m. and it was like I had listened to like 3 of his podcasts because they just kept playing. And the one I woke up listening to, he was describing like an episode of Mandalorian. So I think that was his bedtime story, as he was going into detail about describing the different episodes of Mandalorian, which is hilarious. And it's fine because we've watched all of the Mandalorian episodes. But it's just so funny. And another time he was talking about clouds, and he was talking about clouds that look like trains. And then he was talking about clouds that look like Jennifer Aniston's hair. And then he started talking about Jennifer Aniston and Friends, and it's just it's so random and weird, but it works. So if you are like me and have trouble sleeping, I recommend you check out, it's called the Sleep With Me podcast. I think that's it. I think that is all I have to share today. If I missed something, I'm sure I will. It looks like it's snowing pretty hard now. But if I missed something, I'm sure I will talk about it either on Instagram or on the next podcast. I hope you guys are hanging in there. I feel like everybody's hit a wall. I've hit a wall. But I also am pretty positive right now. I feel good. I feel positive. I feel motivated and driven. I'm not in like the mental funk that I was in last year. I still have my days, but I feel like it's getting better. And I feel like even though it's still a few months off, I feel like the end is in sight. I don't think we'll ever go back to the way things were before. I have noticed that I have like a new public phobia. When I do go out in public, I'm very nervous, not only because of this virus, but of other viruses and germs. And when I watch TV shows that were filmed, I'm like, look how many people, they're so close together. Like, they don't have masks and they're touching each other. They don't even know that person, and all these germs are spreading. So I think that's going to be the new kind of anxiety that as a society we're going to have and have to deal with. I don't think things will ever be the same. I know personally I will never be out in public longer than a half hour without washing my hands. I foresee myself going into pretty much every public bathroom to wash my hands constantly, or hand sanitizer on me at all times, even once we have a vaccine available to the public for this virus. I feel like it's made me a lot more conscientious of my surroundings. And I also know that because we have spent the past 9 months in the house, our immune systems are shot. So I've been looking into different vitamins and things like that I can get from certain foods to help boost my immune system. I'm not really doing anything crazy other than like maybe a multivitamin, but I'm trying to find things that I can get from natural resources to give my immune system a little bit of a boost, because I haven't been around germs in 9 months. So, I mean, I have, but not the way that I was before. So I think that the first time Jason and I go out in public without a mask on, we're both probably going to get very sick. And I think a lot of people are going to experience that. So far, there's no return date to work. We're both still working from home for the near future. They sold Jason's building at work, so it's up in the air as to whether or not he will ever return in person. And they just sold our building. Well, they stopped renting our building. We have 7 buildings, and they stopped renting our building, so we got notification that we will be moving buildings. I don't know what that means for us. I was work from home part-time before, so I worked from home 3 or 4 days a week, and then I went into the office 1 or 2 days a week. And I don't know. They keep saying that we're going to be going back to that. They just don't have a date or a time frame, which I don't think anybody does. But for the foreseeable future, we will be same thing. every day. That's why I've been trying to mix it up with books and TV and knitting and things like that. So I think that's it. All right, I am gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. If you want to follow along with my day-to-day stuff, follow me on Instagram, honey_b_knits. You can find me on Ravelry, Melissa1308, and on Goodreads as Melissa1308. So I think that's it. Hope you guys have a wonderful few weeks, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.